I'm bored of running, so I spent way too much time researching different ways people fueled their bodies during a marathon and tried different ones that represent different decades.
Why don't we start in 1896? Alcohol was used as performance enhancers for runners at the first modern Olympic Games in Athens. Greek marathon runner Spiridon Lewis famously knocked back a glass of cognac with 6 miles left to go in the race. Refreshed, he went on to win gold.
Somebody get me a time machine. Man, this guy must have been the life of the party. Obviously, I wasn't born yet at this time, but I can imagine the thought process of using alcohol was to mask pain, give a quick energy boost, and rehydrate the body. It's funny because the cognac that Spiridon drank probably contained 0 sugars and dehydrated his body even more. The only benefit I could see him getting was numbing the pain. Let's run!
I started preparing for my 8-mile run and a few things came to mind. How am I going to carry the alcohol? How far into my run should I drink the alcohol? So I FaceTimed my wife to ask her for ideas. She said to carry it in a small bottle and take it at the halfway point.
Okay, thanks for the feedback.
Good luck on your run.
Bye.
It took me 40 minutes to reach 4 miles. I really wanted to drink water to stay hydrated, but for the integrity of the experiment, I resisted the urge. It was time to knock back a drink. That alcohol had me feeling like this, especially on an empty stomach. But I could see why they thought this would help if you had no knowledge of modern nutritional science whatsoever. My final time was 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 35 seconds to run 8 miles. I'm definitely a little bit drunk and dehydrated, but at least my legs aren't aching.
So maybe there is some benefit to alcohol on a run, but just like my body, I don't exactly know how to process how alcohol helps Spiridon win a marathon. But I don't really care because I can just time travel to 1960.
Although runners put away the booze, they still had no real concept of how to stay adequately hydrated and maintain energy levels during a race. A lack of easy to transport and nutrient-dense products meant runners turned to things like oranges and salt. They'd drink when thirsty, but not much more or less.
Welcome to the 1960s. This is everything I'll be bringing on my run. The biggest change is the nutrition. We'll get to that. But I would say one of the other biggest changes, the amount of things to carry. But this right here, folks, the first portable on-the-go sugar boost. Let's run 8 miles.
I mean, let's be honest guys, this was so much bulkier than carrying alcohol. The oranges even fell out of my pocket a few times and I had to chase after it. That's how inconvenient this is. I'm peeling, I'm chewing, I'm holding onto my trash, all while trying to run as fast as I can. Every so often I would sprinkle some salt in my mouth to prevent cramping, but that just made me even thirstier. The fact that I'm doing so much for nutrition is crazy. But what's really crazy is despite all this, I managed to run even faster than my alcohol run. My final time, 1 hour and 16 and 24 seconds, but now my hands are all sticky from the orange.
Anyways, the 1960s was fun, I guess, but I'll see you guys in a couple years.
The first major change came with the invention of Gatorade in 1965 by a team of scientists at the University of Florida School of Medicine.
The players weren't adequately hydrated and their performance suffered.
As the Gators marched through the season, they drank a carbohydrate electrolyte beverage created by University of Florida doctors.
Naturally, we called our stuff Gatorade.
This new carbohydrate electrolyte drink debuted on the football field and made its way to mainstream running after several clinical trials with distance runners.
Today, Gatorade is the most researched sports drink in the world.
For the first time, athletes could get their hydration in a way that would prevent thirst and restore sugar and electrolytes without having to eat something.
Finally, something that makes sense. There are so many flavors of Gatorade now at the store. Orange, fruit punch, glacier freeze, but my personal favorite and the first flavor ever created, lemon lime. I think you can guess what's next.
Alright, my time begins now. I felt good for the first 2 miles, so no need to rehydrate quite yet. My arms did feel a bit sore from having to carry fluids in my hand. 3 miles in, I took my first gulp. It's actually not that easy drinking while running, the liquid is bouncing everywhere. 5 miles in, I took another swig of Gatorade, but this time I decided to stop running to prevent spillage. Despite these minor annoyances, I actually felt hydrated the whole time, and the sugar helped give me boosts of energy. I just finished my 8 miles while drinking Gatorade. My total time was 1 hour and 14 minutes. And with that, I'll see you in 1983. In 1983, Brian Maxwell, a Canadian Olympic marathoner who at one point ranked 3rd in the world, hit a wall in the race and blamed the crash on low blood sugar. He began a grassroots campaign to build a product, known as Power Bar, and get it into the hands of endurance athletes, mostly ultra marathoners at first. The bar became a household name by the end of the decade and was purchased by Nestle in 2000 for $375 million.
Now obviously we've come a long way since orange slices. We no longer use peels, we use man-made wrappers, but the Power Bar is innovative because it's the first product specifically designed to provide concentrated energy for endurance athletes. Let's hit the road.
It was really nice not having to carry around a bunch of bulky items. Look at how much space this takes up. I could carry 6 of these in my pocket easily. I took my first bite of the energy bar around 4 miles. It was quite a lot of chewing, which is the last thing I wanted to do while running. The flavor was nice though.
It tastes like a candy bar.
But after running a few more miles, my stomach started to feel upset. I think my body wasn't able to properly digest the bar while I was on the move.
So yeah, the chewing and digestion is definitely the biggest problem with energy bars while on the go. Hopefully there's something better in the future.
As races became more competitive and elite runners ratcheted up their PR efforts, stopping to unwrap a bar or unpeel an orange became precious time wasted. GOO, founded in 1994, sought to provide concentrated energy in a gel so athletes could easily replenish energy without stopping.
My friends, welcome to the future. A lot has happened since the Power Bar's introduction. A bunch more energy bar competitors have flooded the market. They've refined the formulation to be higher in carbs and easier on the stomach. And sports nutritionists have started to recommend runners take about 60 grams of carbs per hour during a marathon. And now, we're in an era where we no longer need to chew to get the same performance. Just shove it in and swallow. I'm going to go on my last 8-mile run.
If you don't know, I'll be running my first ever marathon on July 28th, 2024. In the training process, I've learned a lot about myself and my body. Like, always using the bathroom before running. It's hard to find a public bathroom when the bowels are moving. Or, making sure to stay hydrated and bring nutrition to fuel the runs. There have been plenty of times I've forgotten to bring the GOO energy gels and felt super hungry and lightheaded. And finally, that it's okay to have bad training days, because it makes the good days you have all the better.
Oh my god, I did it. I just ran my fastest time, 1 hour and 5 minutes.